皆さんこんにちは。ジャパニーズポットです。
おはよう東京、こんばんはニューヨーク、こんにちはロンドン。
Lower Beginner Season 2, Lesson 8. What will you be doing later in Japan? Hi everyone, and welcome back to JapanesePod101.com. This is Lower Beginner Season 2, Lesson 8. What will you be doing later in Japan? I'm Becky.
こんにちは、夏子です。
In this lesson, you'll learn how to describe future events using the present tense of a verb. The conversation takes place at a host family's house.
It's between David and his host mother.
The speakers are a student and his host mother. The student will be using formal Japanese with his host mother. Okay, let's listen to the conversation.
デイビッド、おはよう。今日は何時頃帰りますか？
今日の夜、友達と映画に行きます。多分、10時頃帰ります。
夕ご飯は？
多分、夕ご飯も友達と食べます。
多分？
はい、まだわかりません。
じゃあ、後でメールしてくださいね。
わかりました。
Listen to the conversation one time slowly.
デイビッド、おはよう。今日は何時頃帰りますか？
今日の夜、友達と映画に行きます。多分、10時頃帰ります。
夕ご飯は？
多分、夕ご飯も友達と食べます。
多分？
はい、まだわかりません。
じゃあ、後でメールしてくださいね。
わかりました。
Listen to the conversation with the English translation.
デイビッド、おはよう。今日は何時頃帰りますか？
Good morning, David. What time are you going to be home today?
今日の夜、友達と映画に行きます。多分、10時頃帰ります。
I'm going to see a movie this evening. Maybe I'll be home at around 10 p.m.
夕ご飯は？
How about your dinner?
多分、夕ご飯も友達と食べます。
Maybe I'll have dinner with my friends too.
多分？
Maybe?
はい、まだわかりません。
Yes, I'm not sure yet.
じゃあ、後でメールしてくださいね。
Would you send me an email later then?
わかりました。
Okay, I will. Natsuko, do you have any tips for our listeners who are planning to do homestays in Japan?
Definitely. It's considered good manners to tell your host family what time you're coming home. Also, make sure to let the family know if you don't plan to eat dinner at home.
If not, they will prepare the meal for you, right?
That's right. And they might just wait for you to come back for dinner. So, make sure to let them know your plan for the day.
By the way, Natsuko, is hosting a homestay popular in Japan?
I don't think so. Actually, Japanese people are not so used to opening their houses to other people. Maybe because our houses are not usually that spacious.
I do know some people who have done homestays with Japanese families when they came to Japan on student exchange programs.
That does happen. And I think living with Japanese families can be a really good opportunity to experience real life and culture in Japan.
I agree. Okay, now on to the vocab. Let's take a look at the vocabulary from this lesson. The first word is
ごろ、
about, around.
ごろ、ごろ。
Next we have
帰る、
to return home.
帰る、帰る。
Next we have
夕ご飯、
dinner.
夕ご飯、 夕ごはん。
Next we have
多分、
perhaps, probably.
多分、多分、
Next we have
まだ、
still, yet.
まだ、まだ、
Next we have
後で、
later.
後で、後で、
Next we have
メールする、
to email, to send a text message.
メールする、メールする、
And last,
わかりました、
I understand, I see.
わかりました、わかりました。
Let's have a closer look at the usage of some of the words and phrases from this lesson. What's the first phrase of this lesson?
わかりません。
Meaning, I don't know.
わかる is the verb meaning to know, and わかりません is the negative verb meaning not to know, or simply I don't know.
When you're asked a question and you want to answer, I don't know, you can use this expression.
But it's not just used for answering a question. You can also use わかりません to mean I don't understand.
So if someone talks to you in Japanese, but you don't know what the person is saying, you can simply say,
わかりません.
Natsuko, can you give us a short dialogue using this expression?
Sure. For example, if you're talking to someone at a coffee shop, they might ask you a question like, 今何時ですか?
Which means, what time is it now?
If you don't know what time it is, you can simply say, わかりません.
Which means, I don't know. Okay, now on to the grammar. In this lesson, you will learn how to describe future events using the present tense of a verb.
In Japanese, you can use the same tense to express both the present and the future.
These are known as the non-past tenses. You can differentiate between the present and future based on the context. Natsuko, let's take a look at an example. How would you say, I have time?
In Japanese, it's 時間があります. 時間 means time. が is the subject marking particle. Then we have the verb あります meaning to exist, there is, or to have. Altogether, 時間があります.
Which means, I have time, or there is time. So how can we say, I will have time?
Actually, it's the same. 時間があります. As we said earlier, future and present tenses look the same in Japanese.
That's easy when you're learning Japanese, but it might be difficult when you hear it in conversations. That's why it's always important to know the context to work out if a sentence is in the present tense or future tense.
But sometimes you can find clues from the sentence itself. For example, if someone says, 明日は暇ですか?
Which means, are you free tomorrow?
Obviously, it's for the future, as it has the noun 明日 meaning tomorrow.
What if someone simply says, are you free?
If someone says 暇ですか, which means are you free? You need to figure out if it means are you free now or will you be free at some future time from the context.
To deliver what you want to say clearly, it's important to use the right adverb when talking about the future. So let's look at some of those now.
That sounds good. First, let me give you a sentence that we are going to use with the different adverbs. ブライアンさんはケーキを食べます.
Which means, Brian eats cake.
In the sentence, we have ブライアン, which is the name Brian. さん, which is the honorific suffix, meaning something like Mr. And the topic marking particle, は.
Then we have the noun for cake, right?
That's right. ケーキ is the noun meaning cake. Then we have the object marking particle, を. Lastly, it ends with the verb 食べます, which can mean either eat or will eat.
Okay. When you talk about someone's habits occurring, for example, every day, what can you say?
You can simply add the other verb, 毎日.
Which means every day.
Just add 毎日 after the topic, ブライアンさんは So you can say, ブライアンさんは毎日ケーキを食べます。
Brian eats cake every day.
And if you want to say usually, you can use the Japanese adverb いつも。
Listeners, can you make a sentence meaning Brian usually eats cake? Using this adverb, you have 5 seconds to figure it out. What's the answer, Natsuko?
ブライアンさんはいつもケーキを食べます。いつも means usually. So this sentence means Brian usually eats cake.
When you want to talk about the future, you can keep everything the same but use different adverbs.
Such as 明日 meaning tomorrow or 今日の夜 meaning tonight.
Using one of them, how can we say Brian will eat cake tomorrow?
ブライアンさんは明日ケーキを食べます。
What about Brian will eat cake tonight?
今日の夜 means tonight. So you can say ブライアンさんは今日の夜ケーキを食べます。
Listeners, ever have any language or lesson-related questions?
Or maybe you have some feedback for us?
Leave us a comment or ask a question on the lessons page.
It's super simple. Go to JapanesePod101.com.
Scroll down to the comments and enter your comment and name.
And that's it.
Commenting is a great way to practice writing and reading in Japanese.
It helps you learn faster.
And it helps us get better through your feedback.
Go to JapanesePod101.com and comment now. Okay, that's all for this lesson. Thank you for listening, everyone, and we'll see you next time. Bye!
またね。デイビッド、おはよう。今日は何時頃帰りますか？
今日の夜、友達と映画に行きます。多分、10時頃帰ります。
夕ご飯は？
多分、夕ご飯も友達と食べます。
多分？
はい、まだわかりません。
じゃあ、後でメールしてくださいね。
わかりました。